Hey everybody, Sam here. Today I'm doing a quick Q&A video because I'm out of content to upload. All questions were asked in the comment sections of my last 2 YouTube videos, a Google form in the descriptions of said videos, and an Instagram story asking questions. All questions were asked anonymously. Alright, let's get into it. What is your favorite train horn? Either a hybrid K5LA or an old CAS P5. It would be hard to choose. Why do you like trains? Well, originally what got me into trains was the sheer size, speed, power, and the thrill of seeing fast trains, but as I've gotten older, I've started to become more into seeing specific types of equipment before they're rebuilt or retired, and I've also gotten more into the scenic photography side of rail fanning, trying to find locations where the surroundings are better looking and more important than the train. What's your favorite rail fanning spot? For a while it was Chesterton, Indiana, but right now I'm not so sure. In past years, Chesterton has been a great spot, but as Norfolk Southern dives further into PSR and retires more of their classic engines, busy lines such as the Chicago line become non-stop GEVOs, Dash 9s, and AC-44s. What's your least favorite rail fanning spot? Most places on the Pan Am Railways, especially recently. Most times I go up there, I end up waiting forever and not really seeing anything. How many NS Heritage units have you seen? I've seen 9 as of when this was uploaded, including the Penn Central, Lackawanna, Monongahela, Conrail, PRR, Norfolk and Western, Lehigh Valley, Interstate, and the original Norfolk Southern unit. What is your rarest catch? An Amtrak MP15 leading a 15-hour late Lakeshore Limited on New Year's Day back in 2018. How do you pass the time between trains while rail fanning? I usually rail fan with my friends, so we just hang out and talk during the dead periods with no trains. I don't really find myself rail fanning alone too often, unless it's just for one train, in which I usually will either listen to music or FaceTime a friend while waiting. What's your opinion on the Pan Am being bought by CSX? I seem to be the minority opinion on this. I actually fully support CSX buying Pan Am. Not only will the customers see faster and better service, but trains will be more reliable to see, and there won't be stupid situations like crews putting diesel where the engine oil is supposed to go, or locomotive noses being painted for no apparent reason. How did your YouTube channel grow so fast? I tried to make content that was differentiated from other channels. Most rail fanning channels basically just upload videos of trains and nothing else. I wanted to make more viewer-friendly content that would keep their attention better. That's why I upload only once a week. I take my time trying to make detailed and interesting narrative videos. What do you think of the new Acela? I support Amtrak replacing the aging current fleet of Acela train sets, and I do think the Avelia Liberty is a decent looking train, but I'm not a fan of the horn. What's your favorite West Coast railroad? I'm not really much of a fan of BNSF or Union Pacific, but I do like West Coast passenger trains such as Coaster, Metrolink, Sounder, and Amtrak's routes, such as the Surfliner and Cascades. GEVO or ST70AH? ST70 all the way. GEVOs, although being a decently reliable backbone of the fleet, are pretty boring railfan wise. The Tier 4 Aces are a refreshing break from the boring GEVOs, but I suppose GEVOs are much better for the railroad. I heard that the ST70s have a fair share of mechanical issues, so I doubt they'll become a common sight on any railroads. What's your favorite railroad? I don't really have a favorite railroad right now. Maybe Coaster? What's your favorite thing about rail fanning? As I said earlier, I love trying to see locomotives before they're rebuilt or retired and taking photos of trains with scenic backgrounds. What's your favorite Amtrak Heritage unit? Not sure, it changes all the time. Probably 184 right now. What's the rarest 448/449 contest you've seen? When it was 15 hours late and led by an MP15. As I said earlier, this was my best catch of all time, so the 448/449 qualifier isn't really necessary. If you had to fix Amtrak, what are the top 3 things you would do? Honestly, their current plan is pretty good. Decrease or even cut unprofitable long-distance routes, improve profitable routes, and upgrade the infrastructure. Where did you film your first train? Reedville Station in Boston back in 2016.
Oh my God, that's so cool!
What's your favorite Heritage unit? Of all the Heritage units, it would probably be NS8098, the Conrail. What cameras do you use? For photos, I use a Canon T6 with a 10 to 18mm lens and an 18 to 135mm lens. And for video, I use a Canon R800 and an iPhone 11 Pro. There will be an additional new camera being added to my current loadout soon. Keep an eye out on my Instagram for updates on that. What got you into filming trains? One of my friends from school was a rail fan, and one day he took me and a few friends to Reedville for the afternoon. After an MBTA Express passed by at 80-ish miles per hour, I was instantly hooked. Will you ever come to the West Coast? I really hope I can after COVID is over. I'm probably going to visit SoCal and the Pacific Northwest. Will you return to Maryland to railfan at some point? Yep. Way back in March, right at the beginning of quarantine, I was supposed to go to Maryland, but that trip was canceled due to the pandemic. What's your favorite NS Heritage unit? 8098, the Conrail unit. What's your favorite NS Special Interest unit? Probably 911 or 6920. I'm a big fan of veterans units and first responders units. Out of all the locomotives you've filmed, which one is the most interesting? any of the few steam locomotives I've filmed, as they're more mechanical and captivating to the average person than a diesel, which is boring in comparison. What's your favorite MBTA F40? MBTA 1064, although that was because of the horn, which may end up getting messed up by MPI, as it's out being rebuilt in Erie right now. A close second would be 1056 with its unique paint job and ex-Amtrak K5LA. Of the current units in service right now, I would also go with 1031, as it sounds similar to how 1064 used to sound. Have you seen anything rare on CSX locals in Massachusetts? Honestly, not that I recall. CSX locals here don't tend to have rare stuff too often. What's your best Amtrak catch? MP15 leading 448. What is your favorite type of railroad? I love short lines. Operations such as the Seminole Gulf Railway in East Brookfield and Spencer are super fascinating to me. What's your favorite railroad artifact that you own? My Auto 14 sign. A few months ago, MBTA was decommissioning a bunch of old school automatic signals between Boston and Framingham in favor of cab signals. One of these signals, Auto 14, had been one of my favorite railfang spots for a while, and one of the coolest parts of the signal were the signs on each mast. The first two digits represented the milepost 14 and the next represented the track, in this case being track 2, and the final digit representing the direction that the train looking at the sign would be facing, which was east. I knew MBTA would end up probably scrapping this sign after it was taken down, so one day before it was removed, I went to the signal and left a handwritten note addressed to the maintenance of way workers asking for the sign with my phone number and email. I didn't hear anything for a few weeks until I was contacted by an MBTA signal maintainer who had found the sign in the relay box next to where the signal used to be. We worked out a time and place to meet, and he gave me the sign. This is proof that stealing isn't the only way to get railroad artifacts. To make it clear, this sign was acquired by legal means with the knowledge of the railroad. Worldwide Railfan does not condone stealing railroad junk. What's your best Norfolk Southern catch? NS10R in Chesterton, Indiana. This lash up is so legendary that you should just watch it for yourself. What's your favorite hidden railfang spot? Come to think of it, I don't really have any secret railfang spots. Generally, there's a reason why it's so hard to find unique and good shots. It's mostly because those unique shots have already been found and overshot by other railfans. I feel like there was a point when locations such as Framingham and Ayer, Massachusetts were at least somewhat secret and not the overshot railfan spots that they are now. In Massachusetts, there aren't really any good secret spots. Every place is either not shot at all, probably because it's not very good, or it's completely overshot and overrun with railfans on the weekends. What's the weirdest thing that's happened to you while railfanning? A few years back in Mansfield, Massachusetts, apparently a construction site right next to the train station I was railfanning at was robbed, and the contractor was asking me if I saw anyone doing anything there. What's your favorite steam locomotive? Norfolk and Western 611. I'm not a big fan of steam, but I absolutely love the looks of 611. If you could railfan anywhere that you haven't railfanned before, where would it be? The Pacific Northwest or Cajon Pass. What's your favorite train that you've seen this year? Probably an MBTA welded rail train with a colorful assortment of power through Wellesley. What's your favorite locomotive model? SD80 Mac or F40PH? What happened to railfanning vlogs? I kinda realized they're only entertaining if there's consistent action like there was in the first episode in Boston. The second episode in Florida was pretty boring, and I decided it wouldn't be easy to consistently make vlogs that weren't painfully boring. I'm not really sure if the vlogs will ever make a return, but I hope they will at some point in the future. I have a bunch of other projects that are like this too, which are in the works but are not really going anywhere for various reasons. Last year, I promised a series called Abandoned Rails, where I would explore the abandoned tracks of New England and talk about their history. Progress on this project slowed down partially due to the pandemic, but mostly due to me losing interest in the video idea. Maybe at some point I'll end up doing this, but right now I just don't have the time to do it. I also teased a Railfan podcast a while back, which hasn't really gone anywhere either. In addition to partially losing interest in this project, I also realized that I didn't really think it through, and didn't realize that I don't even know the first place to start when doing a podcast. Finally, there's one more project that I've never said anything about publicly. That will be a one-time thing coming soon in early 2021. This one should actually be happening, as I've been making steady progress on it. So what is this project, you ask? I'm calling it American High-Speed Rail Week. It's going to be one full week of daily captivating mini-documentaries detailing America's plans to modernize its passenger rail network. If it all goes according to plan, this mini-series of videos should be out in February, so I guess that wraps up this Q&A video. If you have any more questions that you want me to answer, please feel free to contact me on any of my social medias listed in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye.